Stop everything you're doing right now. I'm about to reveal something that will fundamentally change how you think about every conversation, every relationship, and possibly every social interaction for the rest of your life. Here's what nobody wants to admit. We're more connected than ever before in human history, yet we're lonelier, more anxious, and more socially reluctant than any generation that came before us. And if you've ever walked into a room full of people and felt completely invisible, if you've ever sent a dozen text messages and wondered why people aren't responding the way that you hoped, or if you've ever finished a conversation feeling like you completely missed the mark, then what I'm about to share with you isn't just important, it's absolutely critical. What I want to teach you isn't just theories based on decades of observing human behavior, studying the science of communication, and working directly with thousands of people who struggled with the same exact social challenges that you might be facing right now. You see, most people think social skills are something you're either born with or you're not. That's completely false. Connection, real, genuine, meaningful human connection, it follows specific principles, just like everything else in biology and psychology. And once you understand these principles, everything changes for you. Let me paint a picture for you. We're drowning in a sea of digital noise. We think we're communicating more than ever, but more messages just don't equal deeper relationships. Now, don't get me wrong. I use social media. I understand its value as a tool, but here's what's happening to your brain when you rely primarily on digital communication. You're literally rewiring your neural pathways to expect instant gratification without any emotional depth whatsoever. Just think about it. When was the last time you had a conversation that lasted more than 5 minutes without someone checking their phone? When was the last time someone looked at you directly in the eye for an entire conversation? Using your fingers to type is not the same as using your voice to speak, and those little yellow emojis, they do not and cannot convey true human emotion. Here's what's at stake here. If you can master the art of connecting with others at every level, one-on-one, in groups, and even with larger audiences, your entire life transforms. Your relationships become stronger, your sense of community improves dramatically, and your ability to work effectively with teams increases. Your influence and impact on the world strengthens, and yes, your productivity absolutely skyrockets. But if you don't master this, you'll continue to feel like you're on the outside looking in. You'll watch other people form the connections that you desperately want. You'll wonder why opportunities seem to pass you by and why people don't seem to get you, and why building meaningful relationships feels so impossibly difficult. Now, I've spent years studying this, and I believe that I've cracked the code. There's a formula, a systematic approach to making meaningful connections, and I'm going to break it down in 3 essential pillars. The first pillar is the "it's not about you" principle. Here's your first wake-up call. The next time you're in a conversation, I want you to make a mental tally of every time you say I, me, my, or mine. If you're dropping I statements every few sentences, you have what I call a me problem. This is epidemic in our selfie-obsessed culture. Everyone's posting status updates about themselves, taking pictures of themselves, talking about themselves, but here's the biological reality. Human beings are hardwired to care most about themselves. So when you make everything about you or yourself, you're literally fighting against their natural brain chemistry. Here's what to do instead. Just focus entirely on the person in front of you, nothing else. Before you even meet someone, do your homework. Find out something about them beforehand. What are their interests? What challenges are they facing? What do they care about? When you meet them, look for common ground and shared values and similar experiences, mutual interests. Then remember what you learned. Write it down if you have to, and the next time you see them, ask follow-up questions. You can ask about their job, their hobbies, their pets. But here's the key. You have to actually listen. Really listen. Not that fake listening where you're mentally rehearsing your response while they're still talking. How many of you do that? Come on, be honest. Real listening means your full attention is on understanding their world, their perspective, and their experience. Now, second pillar. Here's something most people completely miss. Words are only such a small fraction of your total communication. It's your body, your voice, and your energy. They're sending messages constantly, whether you're aware of it or not. Have you ever sat through a presentation by someone who is supposedly an expert, someone who you expected to be inspired by, but instead found yourself doodling on a notepad, checking your phone, thinking about lunch? The information might have been valuable, but if the speaker was monotone, avoiding eye contact, hiding behind a podium like it was a shield, you felt nothing. Connecting takes energy. It requires you to pour your heart and soul into the encounter. People have an almost supernatural ability to detect your energy and your purpose and your confidence level. They can sense whether you believe in what you're saying. So during your next conversation, whether it's one-on-one or in front of a group, ask yourself just a few questions. Am I standing straight? Are my arms relaxed and open by my sides, or am I crossing them defensively? Am I smiling genuinely? Am I adding inflection and interest to my voice, or do I sound like I'm reading a grocery list? Am I making eye contact with everyone in the room? Am I moving comfortably and confidently throughout the space? Your nonverbal message is just as important. Actually, it's more important than your verbal message. Just master this and you'll immediately see a difference in how people respond to you. Now here's the third pillar, and it's the most important. You cannot be an authority without authenticity. Just like children can instantly detect when their parents are being hypocritical, your audience, your colleagues, your friends, they'll see right through hollow words faster than you can say them. I think of authentic connecting as having three essential components: what you know, what you can feel, and what you actually do. All three, they have to be present. Just think about it this way. If you try to communicate something you know but don't actually do in your own life, your communication becomes purely theoretical. People sense that disconnect immediately. But if you talk about something you feel passionate about but you don't really understand, your communication becomes unfounded. You might be enthusiastic, but you lack credibility. And if you discuss something you do but don't genuinely feel connected to, your communication becomes mechanical. You're just going through the motions. Any message you want to convey, it just has to be genuine. It has to be a piece of you. You can't just be a messenger delivering someone else's content. You must be the message that you want to deliver. I'm going to give you a challenge that will completely transform your social interactions. Now, in the first few days, just master the not about you principle. That means in every conversation, ask 3 questions before making one statement about yourself. Just practice remembering one specific detail about each person you interact with. Maybe keep a small notebook to jot down what you learn about people. Now, following that, focus on nonverbal mastery. Just practice confident posture in front of a mirror for 5 minutes every day. Record yourself having a conversation to hear your vocal patterns. Maybe make conscious eye contact with every person you speak to. Then you want to work on your authentic voice. Only talk about topics you genuinely care about and have experience with. Just share one personal story or give an example of something meaningful in every conversation. Just ask yourself, do I actually believe what I'm saying? And you can follow that up with some advanced techniques. Now, combine all 3 pillars in every social interaction. Ask for feedback from trusted friends or family members and practice these skills in increasingly challenging social situations. Now, let me explain the neuroscience behind why this formula is so effective. When you focus on others rather than yourself, you're triggering the release of oxytocin in their brain, the bonding hormone. This creates an immediate sense of trust and connection. When your nonverbal communication aligns with your verbal message, you're engaging multiple sensory pathways in their brain simultaneously. This creates what neuroscientists call congruent processing. It leads to much stronger memory formation and emotional connection. And When you communicate authentically, when your knowledge, feelings, and actions are in alignment, you're activating mirror neurons in the other person's brain. They literally start to mirror your emotional state, which creates a deeper sense of rapport and understanding. Now, let me warn you about the biggest mistakes I see people make. The first one is, don't overwhelm people with facts and data. Nobody needs that. Connection happens through emotion and stories, not statistics. Then, stop trying to impress everyone. Authentic connection just happens when you're genuinely yourself, not when you're trying to be who you think they want you to be. Then, don't hide behind technology. The most powerful connections still happen face-to-face, voice-to-voice, human to human. And don't wait until you feel completely confident to start practicing. Social skills improve through practice, not through preparation. Look, if you've made it this far in this video, it tells me something important about you, that you're serious about improving your social connections. You're not content to just drift through life feeling disconnected. You don't want to be misunderstood. You want more. And the truth is, these skills, real human connection skills, they're learnable. They follow principles just like everything else. Master the principles, practice consistently, and your entire social world will transform. It's not about you per se. Your body is always communicating, and authenticity cannot be faked. Master these 3 pillars, commit to the challenge, and watch what happens to your relationships, your influence, and your overall quality of life. If this resonated with you, hit the like button, subscribe for more content on social confidence, and most importantly, go practice what you've learned today. Start with the very next person you interact with. Your future self will thank you for taking action today. I'll see you on the next video.